Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about to the videos? Another paid request, this time for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1998 film Pleasantville, which stars Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon, Jeff Daniels, Joan Allen, William H. Macy, J.T. Walsh, Don Knotts. So pretty good cast. It's a very interesting setup. Tobey Maguire, who's a big fan of this 50s sitcom, Pleasantville. There's a marathon coming up. He has a sister, played by Reese Witherspoon, who's pretty much a slut in school. They're arguing over the remote. They break it. Don Knotts is his repairman. He fixes it, but then actually decides, because he sees that Tobey's a big fan of the show, even more so than himself, gives him this special remote. So then when the two brother sister siblings decide to fight again over the remote, they get zapped into the TV show. And pretty much throughout it, they're trapped. They don't know how to get out. They're trying to kind of coast along with the show until something gives. But then Reese, being the rebel, she's willing to push the barrier. There's the football job played by Paul Walker, which I forgot he was in this movie. Shows him what sex is, which then he tells other people, and then they find out. And because these things start to change, the black and white world starts having some color schemes in between. I would say that's one of the highlights of the film, is the way the visual effects are used in this. Where you'll have a black and white couple talking, but then the gun will be this bright pink, or everything else is black and white, but then this one painting will show up that's filled with colors, or one person or two people will be black and white, but then this person will be in color. It's a different and interesting way of utilizing visual effects, and you could say it's an awakening or a reawakening for these people, and how the world is changing. But then by the third act of the film, you have the people who liked the way things were, and it's very much on the nose about oppression and the civil rights movement. You even have people going, so that colored girl you have there, now colored not in black, but colored as in actual colors. So, you drive with that colored girl, huh? Like I said, it's very much on the nose. There's no subtlety to it, but it does go into social commentary about women want to be more independent, not be part of a, I don't know, utopia, how you want to put it, but to have more freedom, more right to expand in terms of artistry or about your body, everything in between. And I thought for the most part it did a nice enough job showcasing that, at least in a different manner than these usual type of stories would showcase this stuff. The acting, Tobey Maguire I did not mind. Now, I'm not a big fan of him as an actor. Not a fan of him as Spider-Man. I know I'm alone in that. But I thought there's a couple films, Brothers is one of them. This is another one where I thought he fit the role well. Because he's put into this 50s sitcom type, so him being sort of an Opie Taylor type of mentality actually fit the role for him being a big fan. I could buy him being a big fan of this show and wanting to fit in. Reese Witherspoon, she's very hot, she's beautiful, so I buy her as a slut in this. Jeff Daniels, always enjoyed him ever since I saw him in Arachnophobia, and then of course Dumb and Dumber. He does a good job here as an ice cream shop owner, who you could tell that he's kind of had this type of attitude where I'm on the routine, but when the routine is screwed up and not as typical, he's at first confused, but then he's actually starting to like it, and he starts to realize that he doesn't really like making hamburgers for people. He wants to be an artist. And so when he starts seeing these colors, it's like, man, for people to see colors like that, they must be lucky. They must be really lucky. And you get the idea that Jeff Daniels and Joan Allen have attraction to each other. Joan Allen as the housewife and mother who... she was definitely, I thought, one of the better characters in the movie. Because it really felt her happy-go-lucky mom, but there's something missing underneath. And when she starts changing in colors, like she doesn't want to change back, at first she hides it with makeup, but then she's like, I don't want it to go away. Kind of like a woman finding her independence, but not doing it in a poorly written, let's have her be bitchy in order to do it. They don't do that. Of course, one of the scenes people remember is her finding out what masturbation is. And it was one hell of a powerful orgasm, because when you orgasm and then a tree nearby catches fire, you know that's a hell of a thing. And that's the thing, this world is following the 50s format where, you know, people sleep in different beds. There's no fire. The fire department's only there to rescue cats. Everybody in the basketball team is making the shots. Everyone's making perfect basketball shots. But as things go on, things start changing and things start... like I said, sort of this awakening for people. Like the books are all blank, but when Reese or Tobey tell a little bit about the story, the books get filled in so then people can learn. People start asking Tobey, well, what's outside of Pleasantville? And he's like, well, there are some roads that don't go in a circle. There's some roads that just keep on going. So I guess the idea is that you have people that didn't realize that they were trapped in this format, in this kind of... I guess in a way didn't realize how oppressed they were, or however you want to put it. But one thing there's something in the back of my head that was bothering me a bit. I do like the film. I think it's pretty creative, fairly original idea. Is that there may be people that would want to live in this 50s perfect, everything's fine and dandy. And I thought they didn't really go into that nature of what if... I think that's what could have been utilized more with Tobey Maguire's character. That Reese is like, hey, this is perfect, this is fine. No, I mean, what I'm doing is perfectly fine. Having sex with Paul Walker, these people having be more in color. But have Tobey, who's a big fan of the show, and maybe a reason he's a big fan, they hint at it, but they don't really go much towards his idea that their dad doesn't want to see them. He's always busy. The mom is going on a date, and so she leaves the house. Maybe there's a bit more to that, even a bit more, I don't know, more honing in on how fucked up the real world can be. It seemed like they were going with that at the beginning, because the beginning is them in school, and each class is about ozone depletion, HIV, famine. Like, each class is about this dire circumstance. And then with the fact that, well, it's your weekend to see the kids. well, fine, then don't see him. It'd be a lot more of that either abandonment, maybe even go for like maybe he's picked on at school, maybe he just hates the real world, and it's have that old phrase, I'll stop living in fantasy when reality stops sucking so much. And that there would be people, let's be honest, that would want to go to a Pleasantville and want to just live there and just have no stress, no worries. You know, the perfect family, and the worst that happens is a cat in a tree. And, you know, there's a lot of people in very dark places that would want to venture that, and it would save their sanity or save their soul or save their the few marbles left in their brain. But it never really goes into that route. It's like it's going to entertain that idea that maybe Tobey, at first he gets pissed, like, you can't chase these guys, they're not real, you can't. But then that kind of just dropped. I would have preferred if it was more him wanting to hang on to the idea of, no, he liked it the way it was. He likes it the way it was, and, you know, this is, it was better like it was before. And then that will lead into how he feels about his own life, and you know, at first he loves it in Pleasantville. He loves it so much he doesn't want to go back. He loved to stay in Pleasantville. He's got a loving father and who wants to talk with him, and but they don't go into that at all. At all. And wow, he could be good at basketball when he was never good at sports in the real world, and he could have friends, and he'd have a job that, you know, things are going okay. And I thought they could have gone in that route, and they don't do any of that at all. And like I said, what at the beginning with the school, with all the dire things being taught in these classes, again, it felt like, I'm just repeating myself. Like I say, it felt like they're going to go in that direction, and then they never do. So I don't know if that was just a change in screenplay, or they're like, nah, let's abandon that, let's just go this other route where Reese is having sex and then the others have sex, and then you know, you have all these other characters like Joan Allen, Jeff Daniels to incorporate into the story. Because the only ones that are against this are, quote, the bad guys. J.T. Walsh, may you rest in peace. J.T. Walsh from, he was in Breakdown as the main villain. He was in Lethal Things. He was in a lot of movies, J.T. Walsh. And even William H. Macy, he's kind of looked at as, maybe not a full-out villain, but as a guy that, I wouldn't call him a villain at all. It's just that he's so used to the parameters of the sitcom that he just expected to come home and get his dinner. But he's never mean or rude or cruel or anything. Almost to the point of he just doesn't know better. So you almost like feel as if, I don't know, that Joan Allen pretty much cheats on him and goes to Jeff Daniels. You're not sure if that's 100% earned that Joan Allen does that to William H. Macy, instead of like trying to discuss more, talk about more. It seems like after like one or two things, she just goes out to cheat on him with Jeff Daniels. I'm like, and even the last shot is a bit confusing. Just spoilers, the last shot is Joan Allen talked with William H. Macy, things are going to be better. Then she looks back, and now it's Jeff Daniels. And I'm like, so did William H. Macy's character die? Did he disappear? Did he become Jeff Daniels? Is that meant to, like a sitcom? Yeah, we just changed it that Jeff Daniels was her husband all along, or Jeff Daniels becomes her new husband, or... It almost seems like William H. Macy's character just got zapped out of existence. It was a weird edit at the very end. I wasn't 100% understanding that. And some people may feel like the court trial at the end because again, people would get more and more into the colors becoming colorful, and then the town is against this, and they're burning the books, and ideas try to beat the civil rights, all this stuff. I guess some people might feel it's a bit ham-fisted, a bit as subtle as a brick to the face. True, but at the same time, it was still interesting to see it done in this different type of way, in this different type of visual palette. I thought the actors did their jobs fairly well. It was still interesting to watch. And I appreciate the creativity of the movie compared to a lot of movies today. So I still liked it for that reason. Now the spoilers, the finale, like I said, there's a court trial because Tobey Maguire and Jeff Daniels, they painted something they weren't supposed to, so they get arrested. And during the trial, Tobey Maguire says, "This thing is in all of us, even in you, Judge." The mayor, how you want to call it, the J.T. Walsh. And he gets pissed and he becomes filled with colors as well. So he proved his point. So Reese Witherspoon is going to stay there? I'm like, isn't your mom and family and friends going to miss you? But I guess the idea is that when Tobey Maguire goes back, I don't know, it's been days, weeks, I forget how long it's been, but it's only been 1 hour in this world. So if it's a marathon, if this marathon goes on for like another 9 hours, that could be years, I guess, for Reese Witherspoon. But at the same time, when she comes back, won't people notice that she's a lot older? Like, she's a lot older. Like, wait a minute, the mom's like, I went on a date, I come back, you're like, a couple years older? What the fuck happened? We had you to the medical facilities. Also, when Tobey Maguire leaves, he was in the Bud, the that was the character. Does the actual Bud come back? If so, won't he be confused as to what the fuck's going on? Hey, Ma, what happened to you? Where's Dad? How come Dad is Jeff Daniels, the ice cream shop guy? The What's going on? I can imagine if the real Bud comes back, he's gonna be really fucking confused. And probably lose his mind. Wait, my mom's looking like this, and Dad is now Jeff Daniels. What's going on? That'd be funny to see his reaction to the whole thing. And I mean, I know these characters aren't real, but the way they make it, they still bring a life to themselves. What about the person Reese Witherspoon replaced? Is she just out of existence? Does the mom, Joan Allen, and the dad, William H. Macy, do they ever realize, well, because Joan Allen sees Tobey Maguire disappear, same with Toby's new girlfriend, and they don't bat an eye. They're not shocked. They're not horrified. They're like, oh, it's typical. Yeah, he just vanished into the TV. So, do they know that's not my real son? Do they then assume that's not my real daughter? Then when they go, well, wait a minute, where's my real daughter? Where's my real son? Where are they? Like, that never gets brought up. Or then why Joan Allen is like, oh yeah, he disappeared in the TV, yeah. Like, she doesn't think of it. So there's a lot of things that just... I only is as A plus in terms of writing as some people do, but it's at least like a B plus. I'll put it that way. It's at least a B plus in the writing, but not A. Because there's certain things that just either doesn't make sense, or what about the questions I'm asking now. But like I said, I do think that had some good ideas, good moral dilemmas. I think some could have been showcased more. There's a part of me that goes, you know what? Some days there's some of us that would want to live in a 50s sitcom like Pleasantville, away from the stress of today. So, would have been nice to see that other side of the conversation. That I actually think this is a good thing to stay the course on that. But overall, still an entertaining, creative movie. I still liked it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.